there's a whole generation of people who are getting married today who have never been in attendance at a wedding as an adult.
100%.
It's a good thing because every 10 years, I'm sure there's a resurgence. There's a cycling of the wedding industry trends. Things change. People want to try something fresh and new. And 2020 was the catalyst for that in this generation of people.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast with Lindsay and Tim.
What's up, everybody? Hi, everyone.
Hi.
We're Tim and Lindsay, and we are here with the Shoot Your Shot podcast. Tim, do you realize it's almost been 1 year of the Shoot Your Shot podcast?
Yeah, we're on episode 40, 39, one of those.
Are you kidding?
It's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We are a photography call-in podcast show. So you can call in, you can send us your DMs, send us a little voice note, any questions that you have regarding wedding photography, portrait photography, events, all of that. We love to talk about business. We want to talk about struggles you're having in your own business and, you know, in your life, which is pretty well intertwined with most of our businesses. So
that's life.
You know, Tim and I just love to yap, and that's what we're here to do.
We like to yap. And you can reach out to us on Instagram at the Shoot Your Shot podcast. That's where we take all of our questions from y'all. So thank you for
Thanks
following
so
us
much
there.
for being here. And we are currently in our holiday season.
Oh,
Tim.
boy.
We're in the holiday season.
Oh, we ever. It's here.
We've survived Black Friday.
Yep.
Thank goodness for that. Happy Cyber Monday, actually,
Happy
today.
Cyber Monday, everyone.
How's it feeling? Do you feel cybery? So we do still have some really good promotions with some of our brand partners,
Yes.
which is exciting. You'll hear about those throughout the podcast.
Ads are coming up.
You'll hear some ads.
Oh, of course.
You know, and the ads are like, I think they're nice.
They're fantastic.
We're not supporting like Vivo Barefoot over and over again.
No.
You know, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
You certainly do.
Really bad. AG1,
Who are the worst ads? Oh, AG1? Yeah.
AG1
Yeah.
and
Greens.
Vivo Barefoot. Do you know what Vivo Barefoot is?
I don't know what Vivo Barefoot is. No, is it a shoe?
Yeah, it's a shoe that makes it feel like you're
Oh, I know
walking
this shoe.
barefoot.
Yes,
Dr.
yes.
Chatterjee,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. So
AG1 I hear a lot. I hear a lot of like Purple Mattress. I used to a lot at least. BetterHelp. A lot of BetterHelp.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
that's
a good
nice
thing.
one.
We don't, but you should. You know, you need therapy, get therapy, seek therapy.
Tim and I know we've literally never needed the advice or help of a therapist, of a licensed therapist, because Tim and I were actually born with this like really weird.
Oh, we're perfect.
Yeah, it's so strange actually, and we hear about
Weird.
people with mental health
We're like,
struggles.
what's wrong with
and we're
you?
like, that's
Oh,
crazy.
you're broken. You should go back in. And
Yeah,
then
do
get
you want to
sorted
go
out.
back? I don't
Just go
know.
back.
This is the greatest joke of all time. Tim and I are big advocates of therapy. We give thousands
Need
of
it.
dollars a year to some lovely humans. Anyways, ads
Just to
are
listen to
nice.
us. Yeah.
Thank you so much to the brands that we love to work with.
Yeah.
For letting us talk about you. Tim, you have something exciting to chat about
Yes.
on today's episode.
So typically, as Lindsay mentioned in the intro, we are a call-in show where we take your questions, ideas, thoughts, DMs about wedding and portrait photography and try to make them, make your ideas whole and help you with your ideas. Today, I thought because it's the end of the calendar year, the Gregorian calendar we all follow, I thought we could talk about the trends of 2024 in
would
wedding
love
and portrait
that.
photography. And then maybe a little sneak peek into what OpenAI thinks the trends of 2025 are projected to be.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, so I thought it'd be kind of fun.
I literally can't wait for this, Tim.
Yeah, I made a little slideshow. I make slideshows. We
You
make
guys,
slideshows.
Tim is doing the most right now. I have to yet again, one more week again in a
Okay.
row, just say thank you to you. I know I say thank you too often.
No, it's fun.
It's very important that I do because you guys have no idea
This is the
how
show.
little weight I have pulled.
Hey, if you're on YouTube, because we're on YouTube, check out this set. Lindsay put together these dope glowing balls, and she hung them on the trees.
Yeah.
And they look great.
I'm here for the aesthetics.
For
and
sure.
not always my own personal either.
No, you
Some
contributed.
days I'm like, literally, don't put me on that camera. So help me God.
You look great today.
Thank you. I try.
Today's a camera 2 day for Lindsay.
I have I get to
Some days it's just camera 1.
I have an exciting call coming up after this.
With whom?
I
Who
can't
with?
talk about it.
Oh, shoot.
It's a secret.
Oh, I think I know what this is about.
Yeah, I might have
yeah.
alluded to some
little
things
bit.
last week. You guys
Yeah.
are going to find out first.
Yeah.
I promise to tell you when I am
Okay.
allowed to talk about it. But yeah, I have an exciting call coming up. And then
Yeah.
I'm also meeting with our friend Lachlan over at Focal.
Amazing.
Just to check in and see how they're doing.
Great.
So I got to look nice, you know? Not just for you guys.
And not just, for herself too.
Just for my own existence.
Yeah.
I'm flying out to
Miami.
Miami. I'm going to Florida tomorrow, y'all.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. I'm going to
poor.
see the Miami Dolphins on the weekend, which I'm very excited about.
It's your team.
But you would not believe the day before a trip, Tim, I'm like, actually 2 days before a trip, I'm truly unstoppable because the day before a trip, I have like brain fog of like, actually there's too much I need to do and I don't know what to do.
Do you find that you're executing on last day or you're planning, like what is day, 2 days before, what's your mindset like?
2 days before, I am like wrapping up big things. Like all these galleries need to get gone. I'm trying to wrap up all of my emails. Doing some running around that I have to do.
Sure.
But like day before a trip, you kind of have to do some of that running around. Like I got to drop my dog off to your house. I got to go get him dog food before that. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be hungry. There's like
we made room in the freezer. So there's.
Thank you. Yeah. He does eat a lot
of
food.
He's a big boy.
But there's just so many last minute details and you're like, wow, where did this energy just come from? Oh, it's because I have like a vision and the end is in sight.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm really excited about that. But I do want to say yet again, thank you so much to Tim because I have been an absolute Looney Tune the last few weeks and Tim's just been just holding the torch. So thank you. I know. I don't know how you are because you also have so much going on.
I'm taking tomorrow off. Tomorrow's my day off.
That's so nice.
First day in like a month. So it'll be nice to like not work.
Literally, we have cameras in the studio and I saw that Tim was here until like midnight the other night and I wanted to message him being like, go home.
Go home. Yeah.
But then I also know how annoying that is when you're like, I just need to get through this and somebody's telling you like, you need to have work-life balance and you're like,
not right now.
Screw balance right now. Right now,
no.
actually, I need to.
Some weeks are just like I need to execute, get things done, because things come across your plate, and you take on maybe a bit too much than you should have. And so that was this week. I realized how much I had to complete, and I wanted to get it done in a fashion that didn't make me like drag it on. You know what I mean? So I did a 12-hour day. I'm like, okay, I can do this 12-hour day. Yeah, and it was great.
And honestly, getting stuff done is like the greatest feeling of all time.
The best. I woke up feeling amazing.
Of course you did. Yeah. Like, you stay up until midnight, sure, but then the next day, maybe you get to sleep in until 8 or 9.
I had a wedding yesterday, so no. But okay. I did.
Tomorrow.
I woke up to have a meeting at 9:30, which was also great. And then I edited a bit more, delivered 2 galleries, and then went to a wedding. So, that's life.
You're a machine now.
That's why Wednesday is a day off.
But you know what? The rest shall come.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm excited.
I used to call it November sleep. Now I think it's December sleep, but that's okay. December
sleep now.
I literally am like a bear. I'm going to go into hibernation soon.
Eat a bunch of...
I'm not going to eat a bunch of berries for the next 6 months. No. Okay.
Let's get to the trends of 2024.
I digress. The secondary title of this whole podcast
is I digress. But I digress.
Let us get into the recap of 2024 trends. We almost forgot something.
We were so close, and then we remembered the Magic 8 Ball. So let's pull that up.
We have to do this really fast. We've never fully forgotten it.
I'll make this pertain to the topic so we don't get digressed from ourselves. Whoa.
I know. Look at
knocking things over. If you're on YouTube, check out this set. It's insane. We're about to smash the shit out of it. 2025. I asked OpenAI, ChatGPT, what are some of the predicted trends in wedding photography? Will these be true? Is my question to the Magic 8 Ball. Is OpenAI accurate with these trends based on, whatever the fuck it uses as a reference?
Reply hazy. Try again.
Great.
I'm not trying. Okay, so it is. Well,
moving on. Feel free, Lindsay. I pulled these from my memory and just a few ideas of things I was thinking about in some of the galleries I shot this year. Feel free to interject if there's any more.
Yeah, of course.
I just put together 4.
My clients send a lot of Pinterest boards, so I see a lot of those.
You see more Pinterest than I do, so maybe you're a better resource. This is a good idea to bounce this off you.
Let's go.
Number 1 is, for 2024, candid and documentary photography. This isn't new, but I feel like it's just growing. You know what I mean? More couples are prioritizing unposed, genuine moments over formal portraits. This approach captures the true emotions and interactions of the day, creating a story-driven wedding gallery. Do you find this to be true? Are you dealing a lot with this?
100%.
Experiencing this?
I find it so funny.
Okay.
Because what people say they want to be candid.
Yes.
is not candid. I'm like, so you want me to pose you in a way that doesn't look like you?
Yeah.
Basically what we're looking for, because what people used to say they wanted candids was they wanted people to actually be having a conversation and laughing and whatever, right? And like that was the candid thing. So we started doing the fake laugh, which is also not candid. We're telling them to fake laugh.
Turn to the person and say hi.
But it looks natural and unposed, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the candid now that we're looking for in 2024 is even more heavily aesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, how do I look hot, but like I'm not trying?
Yeah.
You know what it's giving? It's giving.
Without
like,
naming names?
No. It's giving the like when girls would like look down and away at the camera because
the
they
selfie.
wanted to make it look like they weren't taking the picture. Somebody else was
Where's your right arm?
Somebody else
Where's your
was
right
taking-
arm? Is it holding the camera?
Or they would
Fucking
say
know
to
it
their
is.
friends, like, just like take pictures, and then they would like pose like
Yes.
this. That's what it's giving.
Seeing girls from MySpace.
Literally seeing girls start to age us so aggressively, but that's kind of like,
Listen.
I mean, everybody wants to look like you were caught in a moment.
Yes.
You were walking down the street in New York City and someone just happened to say, "Who's that girl?" And they caught a photo of her. And now we're hired to be
Who's that
the
girl
film,
photographers.
the film directors.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, clients are not Kate Hudson. You know what I mean? Like, we're not dealing with like people that know how to naturally look that. Also, those people don't look naturally that way at all. There's
No.
nothing natural about a Hollywood scene.
No.
So while I have digressed on the candid, but
No,
yes,
this is true.
because
There's
the
two- I think
reason I,
there's two
believe
up-
this to be
You
true
go.
is the documentary side
Yes.
of things is so beautiful and takes such an artistic and skilled photographer
Yeah.
in not just the way that they shoot, but in the way that they interact with their clients to be
Right.
able to get those really, truly documentary style
Correct.
things out of them.
There's
And
a lot of lead up to getting those photos. It's not just like,
Yes.
okay, stand over there and like pretend not to care.
Yes.
That's not how that
Taylor
works.
has a second shot for me a few weddings in the past little bit. And remember I said to you, this guy is so good at candid.
I know.
And part of the reason is because he blends into into the background
Yeah.
so well.
We talk about this all the time. Taylor puts on this, and I don't know where it comes from. He's just very trained at doing this. Maybe it's just an introverted thing. He'll create this like beta energy for himself, like
Yeah.
a force field. People are like, oh, who
That
cares
guy.
about that guy? Who cares about that guy? No one pays attention to him. Whereas at
Because on a wedding day, he's not Taylor Jackson YouTuber. There are
No.
literally two different versions of him.
so if you see Taylor Jackson in the wild, it's not the Taylor on the wedding day.
It's not the Taylor I'm married
It's not
to.
the Taylor voiceover that you hear on his behind the scenes videos.
But I think those two versions exist, just like
Totally.
you and I are not
No.
Honestly, we are freaking hilarious and really stupid and hilarious all the time. But Taylor, for the betterment of his work, because
Yeah.
his work is so candid and
Yes.
unposed, he really leans into that. And he shot some of the most like actually stunning images I've ever seen at the last wedding that we did together. And I was so mad about it that they weren't mine, because I'm going through the full edited gallery and I'm like, I can't
to it.
believe I didn't shoot this, but
Yeah.
these are so beautiful.
He's a pro.
And you know what? I'm going to send you a couple of them so you can
Please.
pop them in here,
I'd love
just so
to.
you can see what I mean.
Okay.
Just they really capture a moment. But what I will say is it takes a man like Taylor or a really, really talented photographer who knows how to make people look good
Yeah.
while candid.
Yeah.
Because anybody that takes a really documentary style photo and it's unflattering, it's going to the trash pile. Your
Immediately.
clients don't care about that, right? So how do we get images that are, and maybe you as a photographer don't care about that, and that's okay. You don't have to. Like,
Maybe your clients don't care about that, but I think they might.
most of my clients
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
So anyways, those are my thoughts. Can you tell me your thoughts? Because you have a very totally different approach on candids and documentary style shooting, especially with video. Like, you don't pose.
I do. I pose a lot more now than I did in the beginning when I was doing wedding video work. It used to be incredibly 100% candid. Whatever I get is what I get. But nowadays I'm using a bit more of, my directorial. Oh, is that cable in the way? Thanks, Lindsay. Oh, this entire camera moved. We have a thing in the shot. It doesn't matter. If you're watching on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. No, I find that I'm directing couples a bit more now, which is nice. I'll take a few more moments from the day to kind of, tell my couples what I want from them when it comes to motion and like posing.
Yes.
So
Sorry to distract
No,
you.
that's okay.
just
I was very
moving the light.
distracted. We got the
I was
light
also
fixed.
trying to figure out why you didn't have a light on you,
That
and
makes
it was
sense.
because that was a little bit further away,
Oh,
and that's okay.
rolling it back?
Don't move it in.
Okay, it's fine. Here we are playing Fix the Set.
Playing Fix the Set while we
reason
are
I
recording.
included this one is because I do see a lot more of this, of photographers who are
It's really
who are wide shot.
it's just this,
Let me-
we have this overhead light and it's literally on wheels and
so
it's not
crank
locked
the-
off
hit the lock
currently.
thing,
Yeah. Okay. Is it?
And
can
let's
you go
see
to your
camera
shot?
3.
Okay, we did it.
We're mostly there. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I noticed
So funny.
worked with a photo team in 2023. There we go. There's lighting on me. And they were 100% candid. So even the portraits that they took of the wedding party, they'd say, oh, go over, stand over there and just kind of walk around. I was like, what? And there was like
And the clients were
almost
looking at
no
you like,
direction.
how do I handle
But that's what they
this?
wanted. They loved that style. They loved the look of that. And
What
the
did they
photos
do
looked
What
good.
did they do for portraits? Like
That.
family.
Oh, it was crazy. Do you want to hear?
Because
I won't name names
because
because they're-
photographers that are like this, I love it and I
go.
respect it, and it must take so much effort explaining to your clients your vibe and your experience and what you offer.
Family formals were everyone in a big group. Not really like they had like people poking heads so that everyone could see the camera, and then they would go do one wide photo and then get really close to certain members of the group and take photos like you can't see
Yeah,
them doing.
kind
but
of a vibe. I kind of like
it was
that.
cool, but I'm also like, you're not getting like any head to toe. Like it just hurt my brain to see this and be like, you're not getting any head to toe. You're not getting any portrait like versus landscape. You're just getting like kind of
Candids.
like candid.
Candid, but
posed-
panicked probably because grandma is like, can I just look at the camera?
Yeah, and people didn't know what to expect because I think people
No.
just were like, okay, this is how this person takes photos. That's great. They don't care. They don't see the outcome. I can see the outcome knowing that they were shooting on a 35 and standing 4 feet away from like a group of people, cutting off people's shoulders, getting like only
no.
3 people at a time. So that was how they did
Interesting.
portraits. It went really quickly. They got it done in like 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, cool.
Someone hired them, you know?
Yeah.
Of course it would go down.
They were
really
running out
quickly.
of batteries and they had to switch SD cards for the day.
Oh, so
it
I
was
wonder
very
if like
unorganized.
perhaps
Their
they were
vibe
doing
is-
this because they were short on time. They did a 5-minute thing on families because they didn't have enough battery to.
They were
roll
like
through,
charging batteries of the day. They had to keep switching cards, like 32 gig cards, and they're shooting on JPEG only. I was like, whoa, not
The
me.
stress?
Couldn't be me.
The
Wasn't
stress?
me. And they shot on like rangefinders and stuff. And they had like a M6.
I can't wait for you to tell me names after this
I
one.
will let you know in the comments.
Wow.
Not
I
in the
will let
comments.
you
I'll let
know.
you know in the comments.
That's amazing.
So yeah, this is one of the trends we see
That's
a
an
lot
extreme.
of. That's an extreme version of that, what that looks like. But I think a lot of this comes and stems from the idea of, and a lot of these trends stem from the idea of the fact that, and I've said this probably on a podcast multiple times before, I've said it in real life, if you talk to me in real life, 2020 changed a lot of things for a lot of people in terms of understanding what a wedding day has looked like and could look like, because not a lot of people in 2020 were attending weddings from their friends, for their family, just because it was like limited, guest counts. Not a lot of ceremonies were happening. So there's a whole generation of people who are getting married today who have never been in attendance at a wedding as an adult.
100%.
They have no idea what to expect, what things cost, where to invest your money, like a planner, like a good photographer. And so there's in many ways
They
it's
see-
a good
they
thing
see
because
TikTok.
it's a good thing because every 10 years
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a resurgence, there's a cycling of the wedding industry trends. Things change, people want to try something fresh and new, and 2020 was the catalyst for that in this generation of people.
Yeah.
Which is healthy and also unhealthy if you're in the
Yeah,
industry, because you
for
want to
sure.
educate people. A lot of what I do these days is educating clients on what to expect based on what I've seen in the past and what works well.
Of course.
Because it's not about just like hire me, give me money. It's like, no, I want you to have a good fucking day so we can get some nice images.
Yes.
And for the order that to happen, certain things have to happen based on the fact that we're still just human beings.
Yeah.
And we can only do so much in a day.
We've had this experience
Yeah.
at actually, so Tim and I shot 2 back-to-back weddings together. If this sounds reminiscent to you, don't worry. It's probably not you as a bride because we shot so many back-to-back weddings together this summer.
Yeah.
But we shot a few weddings this year that we would do a Friday, Saturday or a Saturday, Sunday. And so
Yes.
this one weekend we did a Friday, Saturday.
Correct.
And on the Friday we shot at one of the venues that we typically shoot at quite often together. Really beautiful. They had a planner. It was just a very well executed and well organized day.
Yeah.
There were definitely parts of it that I would have changed if it was my wedding. Like
That's every wedding.
there's always things that I would change, right? It was just a normal, calm. What I really loved about it is that they understood that we had their best interests in mind.
Yes.
We had meetings in advance to the wedding.
Yep.
They gave us indications of what they were looking for.
Yeah.
And they gave us examples from our bodies of work previously. You were doing video and I was doing photo.
Correct.
Of like, this is what I like. Can we execute on these things? And we were like, yep, within, the realms of possibility, of course, right?
Yeah.
We delivered photos and videos that looked just like their day, and they're stoked as heck.
Yeah.
And then the next day was pure chaos. There was a real lack of planning in it. And we were kind of like, whatever, we're down to clown. This is your wedding day.
Yeah.
Again, in the same vibe as we were the day before. We were like, it's your vision and I'm happy to execute on it.
Let's do it.
And it was wild. It was a crazy party.
Yes.
Like everybody was vibing.
Very vibing.
And it's the scary thing with a day like that is that, yes, I understand that some people want to unplan things in order to get those cinematic images. That's the other buzzy word. And I don't know if this is in your predictions
Let's
or
not
your
get
things from
ahead of
2024.
ourselves,
Okay. But in order to get those cinematic, documentary, candid, they think we should just not plan anything. That's actually not true. What we still need is a bare bones schedule and a plan for the day. And
some structure, some bone.
Give me
structure.
When's the 20 minutes when we're doing family?
And
When's
we
the
can be
20
fun and
minutes when
imposed
we're
in that
doing
moment,
when we're doing wedding party?
Yeah.
When's the 20 minutes that we're gonna have, the scheduled candid cocktail hour?
Regardless of what you're trying to do on your day, you need to have chunks so we can do fun things within those chunks. Otherwise, it's just a blob of a day and it just gets out of control.
If we're just going with the flow, it's very hard for us to know what the expectation is because we don't know what are you looking for us to create out of this?
And a lot of the time it's us guiding things, right?
Yes. And if we were 100% candid, maybe this would work. But you've hired people that do candid but also pose. And
we do candid well. I'll say that.
And then the thing that I would say that always hurts at the end of this is, and thankfully it didn't happen in this scenario, and I'm so happy about that. Yeah. But what can happen in this scenario where it's unplanned and unposed and just pure chaos, let's go pure documentary, is that inevitably someone after the day will say, where's the picture of me and my mom?
Yep.
Where's the picture of so-and-so?
Yep.
Why didn't we get any video of so-and-so's speech? And you're like, do you remember how your day went? Like, did we have different experiences of your wedding day?
Very much.
Because I feel like we were on different planets. And sometimes those experiences can end really sour. And thankfully for us, we nailed it. We just had enough experience to know, like, we have to guide this couple a little bit more.
Yeah,
right?
a little bit more hand holding. So that's candid.
That's candid.
Let's move on. We have a lot to do.
Okay, I can't wait. I'm so sorry. I'm just riffing here.
Oh, we're killing. No, this is great. We'll move quickly. Point number 2. Film and Super 8 revival. I mean, I can speak to this because I do a lot of this and you do a lot of this with film photography. Nostalgic mediums like film photography and Super 8 videography are making a comeback, offering a soft, timeless aesthetic. These formats provide a warm, romantic touch and appeal to couples looking for a vintage vibe.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not a new thing, but I think it is coming back in a real way. And if it's not film photography, it's like digital. Like low.
Just the shittiest cameras
just
of all time.
Just the shittiest like high 8, like 1990s cameras that kind of give like a different look and feel to videography and on the photo side, like
handy
Polaroids
cams
can be part of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, like handy cams.
Like people are bringing back camcorders, handy cams. Like I often find, I was actually just talking about this with somebody yesterday, that it's so important for us to not just understand wedding trends, but it's important for us to understand social media trends because those inform wedding trends.
Very much so.
So if you see what girls are shooting on at the bar, that is going to inform their decisions on what they want their photos to look like at weddings.
Bingo.
So we live in a student town, right? And we see a lot of students just ripping around, being wild. And
what's the formula? It's like jean shorts, white tube top. Is that we saw
black
like a
tube top?
Black tube top.
So a black tube top, black bodysuit, denim shorts. We literally watched these kids. I say kids because I'm 34.
Yeah.
These kids line up at our friend's bar that he owns. Okay, we're sitting across from said bar at a different restaurant.
At an adult bar.
At an adult bar. It's a bar, all the same. It's just for millennials and older.
Yeah.
And we're watching the bar lineup start around 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And these girls are all in identical outfits. But the other thing that they're all toting around with them is like a Canon cool pics.
Yeah.
Okay. Cyber shot. I had a cyber shot.
Back in the days when you would take 1,000 photos and upload them all to
the
Facebook
whole
galleries.
Thing, I dare them.
Yeah.
I love all the posts that are like, oh, you want the nostalgia of the MySpace days?
You can't handle it.
I dare you to take that memory card and just plunk it into your computer and upload them all to an album that says Last Night at Phil's.
Yeah, no.
I want to see it. That's what I want to see. Anyways,
what are they using?
They're shooting on film. I'm seeing the AE1 popping up.
Oh, yeah.
Like lots of people are shooting actual film. I can only imagine what those photos look like from a bar night. I'm like, do you have ISO 5 million in there?
Yeah.
Like, some of them are actually good at it, which is really cool. Like,
That's great.
I see some really cool like bar photos. If you look in the tagged photos of like the local bars around you, it'll be a very good indication of what kids are doing.
Yeah.
Like look at the location and see what their photos.
So that's what's kind of indicative of what people are
Yeah.
expecting of wedding
And the
films
Super
and
8's super cool.
photography.
Tim, you actually shoot on real live Super 8,
I do.
which comes with its own positives
Certainly
and negatives.
does. Yeah.
But there's also just like film things out there that what's the one that you guys were talking? Is that a thing that other people can use yet?
Which?
The one that you can add to digital or you can use on your phone or
Yeah, there's it's 16 millimeter, I think is the name of the application on your phone. It shoots really well. Like it
looks like it actually
really nice.
It actually simulates how a Super 8 would even interact, right? Like a Super 8 camera with the zoom and everything.
No, it's got yes, it's called Super 68. I'll pull it up here, and it is fantastic because it allows you to create video using just your iPhone to create like Super 8. Let's see here. If I can switch the camera to.
Oh, hi.
There's Lindsay.
Do you want me to hold it?
I got it.
Oh, you've got it.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, do you want it to be?
And
in
like
focus?
you can like.
Oh, you
create
want
really
it on
cool,
me? Okay.
Yeah, it's on you. Like you can adjust like the temperature of things. You can adjust the tint.
Oh, that's really fun.
It's really fun. It has like the same kind of effects on the side. It's a bit gimmicky with that, but it's a free app for now. And you can change from like 35, 16 millimeter all the way from ISO 50D to 500T. So
I think it's a cool option if you are a photographer and not a videographer.
Yes.
That's something I would never do it on a day that you're hired for because like
I think
I'm
a lot
not
of
an idiot, but I would put that into a reel.
Yeah.
I would do that instead of my crappy BTS that I don't even bother putting a preset over.
Yeah. I think a lot of the experience of shooting on things like a Handycam, a high 8 cam, Super 8 film, 16 millimeter, this 35 mil stills is the experience of people seeing that on a wedding day.
Yeah. Couples
want to have that kind of like baked in nostalgia on the day itself to know that you're actually using kind of a finite format.
Yeah.
That isn't, it's a bit more precious, right? It feels
100%.
special. It feels important. It's one of those things that people just want to splurge for and they want that experience.
Yeah.
So I'll often give the camera to my couples and like film
I
each other
love
for a bit. And it's a fun moment for them because they get to hold something that's like basically an antique at this point, and use a format that they probably will never use again in their lives.
Yeah, and they
that's
remember
part of the
it.
experience, right?
And honestly, some of the photos of that is really fun.
It's cute. It's a moment, right?
Yeah. It reminds me of a shoot that Taylor and I did when we did Magic's 5-minute challenge. Was it 5 minute? 5 photographers? I think we're not actually allowed to say the 5 photographers anymore because some girl trademarked it. Anyways,
boo.
Magic did this thing where he would bring 5 photographers together and they would all shoot the same couple.
Yeah.
And one of the photographers that we worked with did this really cool thing where he didn't speak through his entire shoot with Taylor and I.
His challenge.
And he wanted us to not speak either, really. Like, he wanted to just be quiet. And he would just pose us and, like, move us together. And that was, like, his sort of thing. It was
Just using,
very,
like,
very
his
cool.
body language to, like, move.
Yeah, and he just wanted us to just be.
Okay.
And he would just, like, it was totally out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And we should pop a link to it. We'll pop a link to the actual video into the description because it was like very embarrassing for me because this was on video, but it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
He said such few words that the things that he did say were like very, very important.
Oh, wow.
Which, wow, I could learn from that.
Yeah.
2
eyes, one mouth, right?
Yeah.
Or two ears, one mouth. I guess
Yes.
2 eyes as well. But.
And he said, how long have you guys been together for? And I said 10 years. And then he handed me the camera and asked me to take a photo of Taylor.
Yeah.
And the photo that I took of Taylor was in the same spot that he had just taken. but it was a totally different.
Because you're both thinking about the same idea that you're both in like 10 years, and that's like
And
wow.
but he shot a photo of Taylor first, and then I took the same photo of Taylor,
Yeah.
and Taylor's facial expression completely changes when it's me.
Wow.
And then we did the same thing, and I just started crying, and I honestly could cry about it thinking about it right
Yeah.
now. And I just go, 10 years is a long time, and like in the best way, like
Yeah.
not. It's just you're standing there thinking, I'm like literally gonna get teary eyed
Here we
again
go,
thinking
camera
about
two.
it. Why stop?
It's a beautiful moment.
But it was just so meaningful, and you think about like. First of all, something about film.
Yeah.
And just the slowing down
Yeah.
of the time. And, you know, we're so, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm crying.
That's
right
okay.
now.
You're allowed. I cry whenever I don't have a distraction. I was at the car dealership today. I was
That's
looking
so
at
serious,
across the way
Tim.
to CIBC. I'm like, I haven't cried in a while. I'm like, no, right now. I'm not right now. Yeah, dude.
Stop. That's so deep.
It's so sad.
I cry whenever I don't have a distraction. Oh my gosh. I cry all the time, honestly. If you've
Yeah.
ever heard me speak publicly, I cry all the time. Like literally in every talk I've ever done on a stage, I cry in
Yeah.
some way.
It's nice.
Just, you know,
So that's really cool. That reminds me of Gabe-
I think that it makes
Sorry.
us slow down.
Yes.
With a DSLR, with a mirrorless camera, I am shooting so much.
Rapid.
Sometimes I feel like my clients don't even have time
Yeah.
to breathe with it because I'm just trying to be efficient.
Yeah.
And so in incorporating some Super 8 or incorporating, you know,
There's
I'm
different
shooting
mediums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shoot on like my Canon AE1 at some weddings, and it's such a nice time because I ask people to like slow down a little bit, right? Obviously, this is a slow camera, and I only have 36 frames if I'm lucky,
And
if I
1,000
load that
shutter
thing,
speed,
right?
maybe.
Right. So
Yeah.
I just want the whole moment to be a little bit more intentional.
Yeah.
Instead of like I'll pick the best one later.
Exactly.
It's like, no, we're getting 36 for this half of the day, maybe.
Let's
you
hope
know?
the 12 are great. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it requires a little slowdown, which I can imagine that this generation of people getting married are just looking for.
Totally.
Okay, let's move on.
Next slide. Moving on. Inclusivity and personalization. Photographers are focusing on representing diverse couples and unique traditions authentically. They are updating their portfolios to ensure they are inclusive and welcoming to everyone. And this is a trend that's been going on for a little bit of a while here. Just making sure that we're representing the day and also the people that we photograph, you know, on our websites, in our portfolios, and to other couples, so that everyone feels represented and seen and heard. And like, you know, there's more than one type of person in the world. That's obvious as hell. But we want to make sure that we're representing everyone so everyone feels like they're welcome and they can hire us. And who did a talk about this in Florence? Someone did a talk about this. She's an LGBTQ openly gay photographer, and she harped on everyone in the crowd to talk about like how come majority of the people on your galleries in your feeds are like white, cisgendered, heterosexual.
Martina.
Wow,
I was like on the spot.
Thank you.
Why am I struggling? So I was literally staring at
I
you
see
like
her face. I know what her face looks like. We've chatted for a bit, but
Martina
Yeah.
and I had a real time at
You
the
did.
Imagine dinner. Martina and I had the best time
You
in
went
Way
ham.
Up
It was
North.
great.
Yeah, so Martina
Yeah.
spoke at the previous
Florence.
one in Florence.
Yes, in May.
And her intro video was her making croissants at home,
my God,
which
they
I
look
just
incredible.
loved.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking about inclusivity,
Yeah.
and you know, if we claim to be inclusive, where is it basically? And
Yeah.
I truly
Show your work.
appreciate that. And I have an inclusivity statement on my website that I strongly recommend that everybody does. This is not me giving myself kudos. This is just a little reminder if you don't have this. This came from like, to give you guys a background, I have a brother who's gay. That is not his entire personality. It's just part of it. But he is gay, and obviously that has informed a lot of who I am as a person, and the type of understanding that I've had throughout my entire life. Because like, I knew he was gay when I was 8.
Yeah.
And I remember when he came out and we were in high school, and I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck?
Like, no doy.
I was like,
Yeah.
did it require a coming out? I was so shook. I was literally confused. And I
love
remember
Ryan.
saying to one of my best friends, like, because I heard about it after the fact,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just confused why anyone was shocked by this. Like, were you paying attention?
Right.
With all of that being said, that's my mindset, but my work professionally didn't really show it.
Right.
And so in, I want to say 2018 or 2019, I had a couple reach out and say, you know, that they were a queer couple and they were interested in working together, but they wanted to make sure that I like was not just comfortable, but confident in working with a queer couple.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to say, I accept you.
Yeah.
I want to say, I'm going to treat you the same, if not better, than
Yeah.
the rest of my other clients. I'm going to give this some real intentional
Bingo.
thought, because if potentially it's not in my regular repertoire to work with same-sex couples, which unfortunately it is not. I don't see a lot of same-sex couples, the same as I don't see a lot of like biracial couples or whatever. Unfortunately, I'm getting a lot of straight, cis, white folks out here. We live in a city that we fondly, not so fondly, truly not fondly, refer to as whiterloo, because for a really long time it was just truly the whitest city.
Yeah.
And I don't want my work to reflect that, because it's not that white
No.
and it's not straight and it's not, you know, it is a very diverse place.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, a lot of our portfolios we're not reflecting that. So I made like a really intentional move that year after I got that inquiry. I put out a call being like, hey, so I'm realizing that I've got a huge gap in my portfolio.
Right.
And I did like 10 shoots with families, with couples, with
Yep.
whatever. And I just said, like, it's free photos for you, but I just need to beef up my portfolio.
And that's something you can do at home. You can reach out to your community, whether it's like on a grander scale or just your friends and family, and find out who in your circles you can photograph to like add robustness to your portfolio and make sure you're representing everyone. I did the same thing. I started working at the DTK Chapel with Jeff, doing these like one-off midweek weddings, and there's so much
more diversity.
diversity coming through the DTK Chapel, because it's people just wanting to get married. You know what I mean? They want to do something bare bones, simple, elegant, beautiful, and like meaningful, but also like just go to City Hall, and it's elevated City Hall, and every type of human being comes through there, and it's awesome.
It's
really
wild.
helped my portfolio.
I
Like,
love that for
my
you.
first same-sex couple was because of the DTK Chapel. We started at the Walper, did some getting ready together. We did first look on the terrace there, and then we went to the chapel, spent like an hour afterward just like touring around the city, taking photos with them and their bridal party. It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was
I
sweet.
love that.
Yeah.
I think it's so important to like recognize where you have gaps in your business, and it's no one's responsibility but yours to fix those gaps. If you're curious on how you word something like this, just start with true, honest, humble yourself.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason to feel uncomfortable about, you know, saying the real thing out loud and posting on your Instagram story or whatever. Here's what I'm looking for.
Yep.
If you're truly unsure, feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, we're around.
We've posted it. We've posted these things before. I used my brother as my like gauge, because he works in inclusivity and DEI, and he's an educator, right? So he fact checks a lot of my work just to make sure that like the vibes are good and that I'm saying the thing that I want to say.
Right. Because he knows you and he knows what your intentions are. So
yeah.
it's helpful.
And truthfully, at the end of the day, I think you just have to say, I'm really working to make sure that my portfolio represents my values, and I'm looking to work with some couples, and then you can just list them. You can literally just list them. And like you're looking for models, and that's totally okay. But yeah, if you are confused about how to do something like that, let us know, because although we have listed it as a trend, it's surely not going away.
No.
And there are people that I think will start being excluded as the options of photographers when they realize, because I have straight cis couples that come to me saying we're only interested in working with vendors that everybody could work with.
Are inclusive for everyone.
Yeah.
So
That's
on.
a good one. Thanks,
moving
Timbo.
on. Of course. Moving on. We have interactive elements and guest involvement. Trends like disposable cameras, digital handycams we talked about, guest tables, and tech-enabled photo booths allow guests to contribute to the visual narrative of the wedding day in a fun and engaging manner.
Tim, you really did the most. That's a really good one.
Thanks.
You dug deep for that
I dug
one.
a bit deep, but
And
it's something I've been seeing a lot. Like not only just on, the signing table, they'll have Polaroid camera, part of the guest book. You take a photo, you add a little caption to it, you slap it in that book. People usually take two because they want to take one home with them. That's fine, whatever. And that's like a fun way that people have been interacting with with media and becoming part of the day. Handy
for
cam's
years
another
we've
one.
been doing that, but
Yeah.
the handy cam, that's new.
That's
and
new.
honestly, I'm obsessed
love
with
it.
that.
Yeah.
One of our clients
Yes.
had a handy cam.
Tawny and Andrew? No.
Tawny and Andrew, yeah.
I got it right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was impressive.
Wow.
Good for you.
What a day that was.
They're very cool. She's a graphic designer.
Yeah.
So, like, we're lucky. We get cool clients,
Yeah,
man.
cool clients, bro.
They also had their town's mascot come
Blinky.
to Blinky,
King
who's a
Carton's
lighthouse.
own Blinky.
He's a lighthouse. They had him come to the wedding.
Yeah.
These people are fun, okay? These
Yeah.
people are cool. This is another sort of aside. If you're ever trying to get a vibe check for what's interesting and what's cool, and maybe you don't care, like maybe you don't,
care.
and that's okay. I think everybody should care a little bit, and you should at least know what the trends are so that you can decide whether or not they fit or don't fit for you.
Yep.
There was a year where I got completely like bogged down by what trends were important to me, and I was like, do I have to do all these? Do I need to do the blurry photos? Do I need to do, you know what I mean? I was just kind of the direct flash. If I didn't dabble in them, I would have been left behind. So I'm happy I did it.
Yeah.
But I think I have a clear vision of what that looks like for me now. It's,
Okay.
I want to know so that I can decide how I can do it.
Right.
But if you're ever trying to get a good vibe check for what is cool and interesting and what your current clients are looking for and what clients will be looking for in the next year and how you can incorporate that maybe into a more updated portfolio.
Yep.
Look at your coolest clients. Look at the people that dress really cool, that maybe have like a creative industry type of job.
Yeah.
You know, the clients that we love, they're like accountants and stuff, but they're not reaching outside of the box necessarily.
No. It's the clients who like they bring the inspiration from outside the wedding industry into it. That's what creates change and creates trends.
Yes, I shouldn't say the clients that we love. We have a lot of clients that we love that are accountants is what I meant to say.
Yes.
But we also have these clients that do things that are so weird. And I'm like, wow, I would not have thought of that. And I love that for you.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tawny and Andrew had a handy cam. And their intention with this was to just hand it around to the wedding party and people were going to shoot on it, which is such a good idea in theory, but it was a really rainy day. Everything that could have gone wrong for them went wrong.
Weather-wise.
They lost their ceremony space at the very last minute. They had to move their ceremony
to the
indoors,
reception space.
Completely do a once over on everything from it being a ceremony into a reception space, which was not their intention. So a lot of things timing wise went wrong there.
Yeah.
And I remember the look on her face when we were doing getting ready, and she was like, "We really wanted to use this handy cam, but it's not getting done. Like nobody's doing it." And I was like, "Oh, my friend Tim's here.
What's up?
Tim's a videographer. Like Tim was just second shooting for me that day."
Yeah.
But I was like, if this is a thing that we can do, first of all, you're good at this, like probably too good at this, like for us to really be, if this was a normal scenario, I would have never done that.
Yeah.
If everything was going right in that day, I would have never, ever said, oh, okay, well, Tim's going to shoot video now for free. That would be absolutely not what we're going to do.
Yeah.
However, everything had gone south. And this was one of those, like, what's one thing we can do that would be exceptional that she'll remember and that will make her day? And so you just shot a bunch of like, random clips on this handy cam. We handed the camera back to them, so it's not like you were editing or doing anything. It was just, it would be essentially like we are doing stuff on our phone, but instead we're doing it on this fun handy cam. And I started doing some throughout the reception when I had a little bit more time too.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun to, if you have all the money in the world or you have friends that have handy cams, to have a few scattered throughout.
Yeah.
So that your friends and family can, or intentionally ask, hey, you're the person that's going to be assigned to this camera. Because just like disposable cameras on a table, they can get forgotten.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, you're like, oh. Like one of my friends, Nina, speaking of people whose vibe I trusted and who really informed my thoughts on what was going to be cool for the next year.
Yeah.
She works in tech sales, but she just has incredible taste.
Yeah.
But she doesn't work in tech sales. She works in tech. She had disposable cameras on her tables.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, Lindsay, I got all these photos back, and you can literally tell who took them at each table.
Yeah.
Because you can tell when it was, well, you can tell who the drunk groomsman was that was just grabbing it and doesn't understand that the flash won't work from 12 feet away.
Yeah.
You can tell the girls that clearly have used these out at the bar and know what a cool angle is and what an aesthetic shot is.
But also
then you can see the ones that are just actually like, they're not even going to develop nicely.
No.
So.
And that's, I mean, that's every wedding. You're going to get drunk people not knowing how things work, but it all adds up to the narrative of like your guests being involved in capturing the day in a way that you are intentionally putting out there as a couple. One other trend I've seen along this is why I kind of brought it up, and I haven't done it yet. I really want to for next year, is giving your camera to guests on the dance floor. So they treat it kind of like a selfie cam. So it's your same camera for video. I don't know if I trust this completely.
Get another one.
I should
you
just
have
get
a crappy
throwaway
one,
right? And just have them hold it up like they're, holding it like this, and they're like,
like at
and they're
16.
dancing and partying. So they get to like control their own.
Totally. You could literally lock it off at the focus length of like roughly an arm.
And then just have them like hold it here and then just like go party and hang out.
Such
so I want to do
idea.
that for next year.
That's really fun.
even though it's a trend I've seen this year, I want it to be a thing for myself next year. Before we get into next year, are there any other trends you thought of while I brought these up that maybe you could talk about?
I was just thinking on the note of the guest involvement and interactive elements. I love it. I think it's fun when guests get to feel like some sort of ownership over the end result, which I think is really cool. And I think they feel good about like, oh, I did that.
Yeah.
I do this at family shoots, actually. I give my camera to little kids.
Oh, that's cute.
And so you can tell which ones are theirs because they're from the ground. And I include them in a gallery. Like
That's very sweet.
I don't mark them off or anything. I'm like, literally, this is so funny. They're going to know like Lindsay got really weird there. Hopefully they remember that their child had my camera.
Let's hope.
Parents you can tell the look on the parents' faces is always one of terror because they're like, please don't drop that. And I always joke, it's insured, I think.
Yeah.
I think I insured this one. It's fine. Like literally, this kid is 3 feet off the ground.
Yeah. I've dropped it from 8.
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
I do so much worse to these things, but everybody, they don't want their kids to be responsible for expensive things. I get it. I usually do it on grass.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not doing it on
I'm
concrete.
an idiot.
But I think that they feel some good ownership over it. And then when I see these people later, kids at the next shoot, they feel good about me. They're like, oh yeah, that's the lady who
gave
let
us a
me
camera.
press the button.
Yeah.
I like to press the button. That's cool.
That's what kids love to do.
And sometimes kids will come and they'll have their own little digital camera at our next shoot.
That's very cute.
Which I'm like, don't you dare get better at this.
you
You put that VTech camera away.
You forget everything you learned. Listen,
but I think what all I was going to say is it creates good vibes, not just for you and the client, but for you and the people involved. And
they're going to be your future clients, guaranteed. Yeah. Especially if that happens. So we're going to take a bit of a break, talk about some Cyber Monday deals, some Christmas deals for y'all, and we'll come back
talking about last shot at it.
Last chance to hear about this, and then we'll talk about 2025 trends coming up.
I found and discovered the most incredible service. It's called Social Templates.
Social Templates.
If you have noticed that I've been putting out an awful lot of reels this year, yes, I have been. I'm sure you all know that the only way for you to get your images in front of clients now is by making them into videos. That's fun. Angela over at Social Templates and her team, they have put together the most amazing product. It's built right in Instagram. So you don't have to have other apps. You just sign up for a subscription, and every single week she's putting out Reels templates. They're always trending audio. They are focused specifically for photographers, whether you're a family photographer, a wedding photographer, a real estate photographer, she has you covered. And all you have to do is simply drag and drop some BTS videos that I'm sure you have in your phone, as well as maybe 10 to 20 of your favorite photos from the session, and it's automatically synced with trending audio. This year for Black Friday, Social Templates is doing something absolutely wild. You sign up before Black Friday using the code Lindsay, you will get 25% off of the monthly or annual subscription forever.
Whoa.
Until you stop using the service, which will be never, 25% off the monthly or annual subscription. And the annual subscription is already discounted.
Whoa.
So when you put the 25% on, it works out to be less than $19 a month. To subscribe, you can head to the description in this video, or you can go to socialtemplates.co on Instagram and use their link to subscribe, but make sure that you use the code Lindsay to get that fat discount.
Socialtemplates.co, code Lindsay.
Tim, how was your fall this year?
It was wonderful. It was great.
Tell me more, because I hear a lot of people, they got a huge editing backlog.
A lot of you are probably struggling out there. Not me. I use Imagine.
Oh, aren't you perfect? I wish I could use Imagine.
Lindsay, like you at home listening, you can also use Imagine. In fact, you do use Imagine. I know this about you. Link is in the description of this episode. You can get 1,500 free edits. That's like a free wedding to edit. They do auto culling, cropping, skin smoothing, teeth whitening. They use presets that you've created as a photographer to make the editing process streamlined and easy.
And it's like 5 cents an image after that 1,500. It's really, really cheap, you guys. There is no better way to edit your photos faster and in the most consistent way possible than Imagine.
Check out the link in the description below to get 1,500 free edits. Try it out. Make sure it works for you. You're not going to look back. It's going to be the greatest thing of your editing career.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, everyone. Back to the episode. Welcome back to the show. We're talking 2025 wedding photography trends. Trend number 1 that OpenAI provided for us is artistic and editorial styles. Inspired by fashion and cinema, some wedding photography is leading into bold, vibrant, and avant-garde aesthetics. This includes magazine-style portraits, creative use of abstract themes to make wedding galleries stand out.
Oh, we've been doing this.
We've been doing this.
But
I guess it's a trend.
Seen my Vogue styled like? No, I'm really.
No, it's
giving myself a
projected.
little
So
too
this
much
is what
credit.
the internet thinks. You know.
Well, and you know what? we're not doing a full 180.
No.
We're not all of a sudden going from, we were doing artistic and editorial in 2024. We were calling it Candid and whatever, right? We're not going to do a full 180 ever. And that's good. That means that we're on the right track.
This is a style
Clients
that
are
exists
enjoying it.
now and probably will exist in the future. That's what they're kind of banking on.
But I do love that. One of the things that I think is cool about obviously photography trends are essentially wedding trends that we are capturing. So one of the things is that brides are not putting their bridesmaids in all the exact same outfits. And grooms are doing the same.
True.
Not putting everybody in the exact same thing.
Yeah.
One of the things when people send me a gallery or inspo photos that I'll tell them is like, I love this. What are you doing to make this happen too? Because I can't shoot these girls all in 12 of the exact same dress.
No.
And you want them to look like, the cover of Vogue from the Met Gala.
Yeah, no.
Everyone needs to be in different things. So I think helping our clients see what is cool and what is interesting helps our work.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm planning on putting out in December my projections for what I think will happen that's going to be cool and interesting in weddings in 2025, wedding photography as well, but just wedding wise. And I think in doing things like that, you tell your clients what you're hoping to see.
Yes. And they're like, I resonate with that. And they're like, I didn't have an idea, but now I want that.
So I'm one of the things that I'm going to say is more variety in gowns for girls and more variety in suits for guys.
Yeah.
I still think like that black tie look for guys is really common.
Timeless.
But like a fuchsia dress mixed with a girl in a green floral,
Totally.
right? Like those kinds of that avant-garde look. I can shoot everything in the same way, but if you're dressed like, 2012,
can't help you much.
what can I do?
Moving
I
on.
like that.
Moving on, we have eco-friendly practices. Sustainable wedding photography is on the rise, featuring options like recycled photo albums, eco-conscious travel practices, and sustainable packaging. This aligns with the broader trend of eco-conscious weddings. I don't know where the internet thought this is from. I don't know if we're experiencing this yet. I mean, it's a prediction for 2025 as we race towards, a lot of companies want to be net neutral by 2030, Apple included. They want to
This
be
is not gonna
zero
happen.
emissions. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's interesting. It's neat. If couples want to jump on board with doing something eco-friendly, I'm not sure what that looks like from my perspective. We all taking bikes?
I think that this will absolutely not happen because generally it costs more.
Yeah.
And people don't like to spend more money.
It's already a luxurious day.
So I would say that's such a cute idea. Somebody wrote that on a blog somewhere in OpenAI, scrubbed that one, and that's so funny.
That's so funny.
I have had more clients in the past year than ever before doing vegetarian and vegan only.
Love that.
Which honestly, if Taylor was a vegetarian, I too would have only had a vegetarian wedding.
Well, let's talk about galleries,
because
albums.
that would be an eco-friendly thing for sure,
Totally.
right? Like not serving an excessive amount of meat that's going to probably not be very good at a lot of wedding venues, and then also get
not
tossed.
be good for the world.
And honestly, I'm gonna say it: meat farts on the dance floor.
Dude.
Disgusting. As a
It's a
vegetarian,
cloud.
I literally hate being at receptions when the dance floor opens and everybody is on it and you are literally getting smoked out,
dusted, bro,
by so many people that have just eaten a bunch of beef and now they're moving their bodies for the first time in 3 hours and they are just crop
Methane
dusting
factories.
the dance floor.
Yeah, not
so,
good.
yeah, I would have loved... We had
not experienced that.
I would love to not experience that at my own wedding. I mean, honestly, we had an open air wedding, so I didn't smell that at ours. But I've seen some weddings that I'm literally like, this is disgusting, and I want to not be
some
here
weddings
now.
where this is disgusting.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about quickly albums.
So specific.
Photo albums.
Yes.
You opt for vegan leather whenever you can. That's kind of a.
I only offer vegan leather.
There it is.
Yeah, I actually.
So maybe
only
you're part of
offer-
the trend. You don't know.
Yeah, I only offer vegan leather
Yeah.
because I think it is more sustainable.
There you go. Look at us, huh?
Yeah, you're right. It is more sustainable, but I also think that it is more durable than the leather options because leather scratches.
Yeah.
And it's the same price. So like,
why wouldn't you?
If my client said I would really love leather, is leather an option? I'll give it to them. It doesn't cost me much more. Through Wooden Banana, I think it's 10% more.
Yeah.
So I will give it to them if that's truly what they want. But yeah, otherwise I only offer vegan leather. So that's interesting. I guess you're right on that, Tim.
Well, sometimes I'm right.
I was like, this is never going to happen. Wait, we're already
Wait a
doing
minute,
these
we're doing
things.
it. Okay, moving right along here to tech enhanced experiences. Advanced technologies like AI tools and 360-degree photography are gaining popularity. AI helps photographers enhance the photos with smart lighting and angles, while 360-degree and VR experiences allow couples to relive their wedding day from every perspective. I'm not sure if we're there yet on this. I think it's probably referencing a little bit of like the Apple Vision Pro, where like you can capture things on your phone and then experience them kind of in a 3D
that's cool.
reality. I haven't seen anyone shooting a wedding using that yet. People do. I do follow some videographers who shoot
I was going to say,
using iPhones.
Has anybody in New York or LA done it? Because we'll see it in like a year or so.
And using these two cameras, you can create the VR kind of experience. So every camera, yours has it, mine has it. You can shoot in for spatial video. Whatever they
like
call
a
it.
3D.
Yeah, you got to get
whatever.
that.
I'm getting car sick just looking down at my
know.
phone. So like that's just not really.
It's not for us. We're too old.
Doesn't interest me.
But I think it's one of those things that will become more of a trend going forward. Maybe not for 2025, but in the future. I mean, Canon has a lens that's a 16 millimeter. It's a VR lens that has two cameras attached to it, two little separate lenses mounts to it, and you can shoot VR experiences with that. And they've had it for like 5 years, and I think Sam Hurd bought it once. He was like, "This is ridiculous."
Well, most photographers are not most. A lot of photographers are using like the 360 cam for their BTS. Right?
Yeah.
They're not doing it as like a VR experience necessarily.
No. But for ceremonies, I mean, that'd be interesting to get like one camera kind of suspended from the ceiling somehow, or like a tree or something.
Right in the middle.
And have that kind of
cool.
360 experience. Like
during
your wedding day, you can like see who is
react.
picking their nose, you know, like you can just kind of,
Perfect.
you can move through the day however you want. Which I wonder is maybe the forward-looking trend of wedding video and photography. If you can create an image that is like infinite, you know what I mean? Like the image that is like, you can explore it as you would like a world.
Honestly, that would be very cool for
Really
a ceremony.
Cool. Yeah.
Like for little moments throughout, right? If you had that option for the ceremony, if you had that option for
speeches, dances,
dancing, cocktail
complete
hour,
moments, right?
So you could look back and be like, that is what that felt like.
Yeah.
You know, that would be cool.
Really
I'll give
neat.
them that.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
they're trying, you know,
I'm
they're AI.
interested.
They
No,
put their own name on their AI, so they wanted people to know that, you know, they're part of the
like it.
future.
Yeah.
Tries to, you know, job security.
I do find, a ton of, I'm hearing a lot about AI. I hear it in speeches.
Yeah.
People are like, I asked ChatGPT.
Brr, 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 brr,
It used to be
brr.
I asked Google how to write a groomsman speech.
I
Now
looked
it's
up
like,
wedding in the dictionary, the act of removing weeds from a garden. Yeah.
Yeah,
like, shut
so
up.
I am seeing a lot more AI used there, and then I
Yeah.
am seeing a lot more AI used to create
images.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam has his Insight app. Sam Hurd has an Insight app where he'll take a photo, upload the image to his Insight app through his phone and his gallery from his camera, and then 10 minutes later he'll get back 3 different variants on what that image could be in that pose. So he's using that in a way. Maybe that's.
I think it's faster than 10 minutes now.
Is it quicker? Good for him.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a really cool option. Okay, let's
Moving
go
on.
to.
We only have so much time here.
Sorry, you guys. I got my important call.
We got stuff
to
to
go
do. Content creators for social media. Dedicated content creators are being hired to capture and craft reels and stories, ensuring couples have dynamic social media ready content from their big day.
Do
We
you
see
think it's
this
coming
now.
or going?
I don't know. I think it's coming, dude. I think the more people post about it, like you said, more people see the feed updated with the things that they see being trendy based on just what's being fed to them. I think we'll see a lot more of this in 2025.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that it's for a specific type of client, somebody that's obviously on social media fairly regularly.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I'm not fussed by a content
I think it's
creator
great.
at all.
Yeah.
I try to give my clients like behind the scenes clips. It's just, if it's not part of my package, it's not part of my workflow, it's very hard for me to remember to like send those things.
Yeah.
It's also, you know this, really challenging to make sure that you're sending them videos that don't have somebody yapping in the background, and it's usually me. So
I mean,
because if I'm taking, if my assistant is taking BTS and I'm talking to you about a situation that we need to resolve, I want to make sure I'm not just accidentally delivering that.
Truly.
So I do like that there is a dedicated person,
And whether that's
but I
like-
hope that they're scrubbing the audio.
Yes, hope they're doing something with that. And as a photographer, you could maybe build this into your package. Bring a second, they can just do that for you. If you're a videographer, just do something quicker with the turnaround time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
People
sure.
want that kind of candid
That's
look.
the thing. People want fast.
They want it
I
fast.
think if there's one trend that I can think of, it's fast. And for next year,
Yeah.
I regret to say that I'm making my turnaround time shorter
Good for you.
for everything.
Hey, good for you.
I think it's just what people want,
Yeah.
and I shan't be the person that's not doing
We
what
won't
people
be
want.
left in the weeds.
No.
Moving on to alternative wedding formats, breaking away from tradition. Many couples are designing celebrations that feel uniquely theirs, such as combining ceremonies and receptions or holding non-traditional events like a midweek weddings / receptions.
I love this.
Yeah.
This has been coming for many years.
Yes.
2020 really
Was a
did
really good reset
a big
for this.
one for
Yeah.
this. And the midweek thing is huge. I have like 5 Thursday weddings next year, and I have 30 weddings.
I
So
shot a Monday wedding yesterday.
that's a lot.
The Cambridge Mill
Yeah.
wasn't even open. There was no one there
I was
except for the
curious what was
staff
going on there.
and the 30 people who were in attendance.
Iconic.
It was wild.
And literally, why not?
Yeah.
So many people have non-traditional jobs
Yes.
now. It was one thing when everybody was working a 9
9
to
to
5.
5.
Now
What
people
a
are
way
like,
to make
I
a
would
living.
surely rather take a Tuesday off
Tuesday wedding.
than, yeah.
Then work on my Costco day, whatever it is, whenever you go to Costco.
Saturday is
Yeah,
not a
so I
Costco
think
day.
I think 2020 helped a lot with people just understanding that there's no tradition that can't be broken when it comes to wedding your wedding day, and they want to do it their way. You know,
And we love that. And
Have
we
it your
respect
way.
That.
is there another one? I can't remember. That's
Well,
it, dude.
there
We did
can't
it.
be. So
We don't have time. Lindsay has a meeting in 2 minutes. Thank you so much for being here, liking, commenting, subscribing. Let us know if there's any trends you would like to see in 2025 or anything you think we missed in 2024. Reach out to us on the Shoot Your Shot podcast on Instagram. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Lindsay, Tim,
thank you for being here, you guys. It's swell.
out.
See you
Bye.
next Monday.
See you next Monday. Ciao, friends.
Bye.